If you've been following the news today, you probably saw that there was a suicide bombing attack on a US military base in Bagram, Afghanistan, which is our main military base in Afghanistan. It seems that about 19 people were killed. The target, supposedly, was Vice President Dick Cheney, who fortunately was not hurt in the incident. This is a worrying issue for many reasons. First of all, a lot of people were killed. Second of all, it was a suicide bombing attack on a U.S. military base. We haven't seen suicide bombing attacks in Afghanistan more than a year ago. It seems like this has been a new tactic imported from Iraqi insurgents and Al-Qaeda. We've seen that suicide bombing attacks in Afghanistan have actually increased fivefold in 2006. This was just unheard of a couple of years ago. The other issue that it points to is that the security situation in Afghanistan is dramatically deteriorating. The Taliban were able, in this situation, to conduct an attack on one of the most heavily fortified bases in Afghanistan. This just shows you how emboldened they've become. And part of the reason they have become so strong is actually why Vice President Dick Cheney is in the area, meeting with President Musharraf. Vice President Dick Cheney went to Pakistan to talk to President Musharraf about cracking down on some of the extremist elements on the border regions with Afghanistan and Pakistan. And the Taliban supposedly, as well as Al-Qaeda, have actually found sanctuary in those regions in Pakistan. So we see that they are stronger today because of the sanctuaries, because of we've taken our eye off the ball in Afghanistan for a number of different reasons. The recent incident also points to something that we've been looking at the center, which is terrorism more generally. We just did a survey, our second installment of something called the Terrorism Index, which is a survey of more than 100 national security and terrorism experts on how we're doing in war and terror and in U.S. national security. And one of the things that this survey pointed to was the deteriorating situation in Afghanistan. First of all, they talked about the fact that they believed, the majority of the participants believed that Taliban was strengthening the past year. They also, interestingly enough, unlike in Iraq, thought that we should actually be adding more troops to Afghanistan, and not that in the case of Iraq, they actually thought we should be drawing down troops over the next 18 months in Iraq. So it points to some interesting evidence from that survey, and you can find out more about the survey on our website. It also points to some concerns we've had about Iraq and Afghanistan. The fact is that we have not, as a country, been paying attention to Afghanistan like we should. And as we've been wrapped up in Iraq, we have been losing our focus on a very important security imperative, which is Afghanistan. And that situation must not deteriorate any further. We need to continue to give it the priority it deserves. Suicide bombing attacks like this one that just occurred this morning should not be happening with any kind of frequency. Thank you.